Hello, welcome back to the channel. So it is long overdue for a garden tour. If you haven't noticed, I actually skipped last month's garden tour. I got way too busy with the cooking and canning indoors. I kind of just forgot about all that stuff. So let's not hold it back any longer and get started with the tour. Okay, so here is the berry patch, and if you've seen the last couple of videos of cucamelon and marigold harvest videos, you kind of already have an idea of what's going on in here. Strawberries are looking good, still producing some here and there because they're ever-bearing, but basically the cucamelons have grown floor to ceiling basically, and now making their way to the other side of the door. Yeah, but they're starting to die back a little bit. I'll try to harvest what I can over the next few days, but I think they're pretty much done with their production. These two pepper plants, I'm not really sure what they were because I thought they were Scotch bonnet, but they turned out not to be. So I just harvested them for green chilies. Here's a couple at the top that have produced. But yeah, here are the main Scotch bonnet peppers, so I'll be saving those seeds because that's what I wanted in the beginning. Hopefully it didn't cross with these two neighbors next door. I think there's another Scotch bonnet in the back, but not really ripe yet. But yeah, we used to have tiger melons and Queen Anne melons there, but they are now dead and dying and gone. I should probably rip them out. And yeah, there used to be like a sea of marigolds here, but I kind of cleared everything out. The strawberries that were over here were kind of being smothered out, and the blueberry plants have shot up these shots and shoots just to kind of survive being the smothering. But that's good, they'll fruit berries next year. But yeah, I think that's it for this area. I don't think I plan on doing much for fall planting in this bed, so it kind of will just stay as is. Pick what I can of the cucamelons. Oh, actually, there's one more thing I need to show you. I was completely not expecting it this year because they were just planted and whatever, but I have little goji berries that have formed. Complete surprise to me. This plant was literally this tall, like not even as tall as the stake, and it has produced fruit. Yeah, but otherwise there's nothing really going on with the berry patch other than the cucamelons just doing their thing, spreading out amongst the tops, and I don't really have any plans for this area in terms of a fall garden, so yeah, nothing's really going to change. I'm going to head over to the two raised garden beds because I have actually ripped out a lot of stuff and a lot of things have changed in the meantime. So let me go show you that area next. Okay, here I am coming up on these two garden beds. To the left here, I still have a lot of the pepper plants still up because they are producing tons of flowers, tons of peppers. Yeah, look, see all these flowers that are just starting to come in. I literally did a big harvest of these early last week, and they're still just producing. I used to have yellow pear tomatoes here, and they were just going absolutely crazy and wild. They were starting to shade out all of the herbs here. Actually, the sage plant has kind of succumbed to that. This one's still holding on. The rosemary is doing well despite everything. That was really shaded. And same with the thyme. The thyme was struggling a little bit, I think. The summer savory used to be in this lot. I have harvested it. And at the same time, I cut back a lot of the Russian tarragon, but you would not even notice because it is already full and fierce again. So like that is just absolutely wild to me. Here are more of these green chili peppers. I'm really not sure what variety. It was through a seed trade. I think they were supposed to be, gosh, I can't even remember at this point. But yeah, they were not the pepper they turned into. They're kind of just like a little chili, honestly, yeah. So there used to be like 6 things of fennel here. They didn't really bulb up like I had hoped, but the sprigs of leaves and the flowers are doing nicely, so I'll try to at least get some fennel seeds out of it. But yeah, drying this like I would dill, like this crushed up, like just smells absolutely wonderful. Yeah, I love fennel, love the licorice scent, so I will harvest the rest of these in a little bit and clear out what I can. What is this? This looks like some weed that doesn't belong, so let's rip that out. Oh, I can't. It's like some tree, I think. Yeah, I'll take care of that later. The nutmeg thyme was definitely shaded out, as was the spicy orange. Oh my gosh, actually, look at here. That is the other the remnants of the spicy orange over there, so that's kind of a bummer, but things happen. Alright, so moving over to my right, here is the bed of leeks, and I think I'm going to be harvesting these within the next day or two, just because, you know, they've had plenty of time, and I don't really know if they're going to perk up anymore. Maybe I'll leave them, maybe not. But yeah, definitely once my garlic comes in, I definitely want to clear things out. So yeah, all of the rhubarbs in here have kind of died back. So they're kind of hiding in the ground right now. We have a lot of mushrooms in this area. I don't know if they're edible. Don't really want to risk it, but one thing I'm sad about is I have left the what were these? French breakfast radishes. Yeah, I left these to go to seed, and they flourished and bloomed all these lovely seed pods, but then they like became empty. So I don't know. Yeah, so I have to clear that out. Here's some remnants of dill that needs to be cut back, and harvested some oregano. That's doing great. Here's a little bit of chives. One little thing of chives in here. Trying to get that out of the way. So yeah, I guess one chive didn't do too well being smushed, but this chive is going great. But yeah, so here are all the Turkish eggplants that I did back in mid-July, and I already harvested one bunch out of them. But yeah, they have tons of little eggplants on them. These are just absolute troopers. Yeah, they are producing so much. Very happy with them. And these eggplants are honestly, like these eggplants are honestly like one of the most delicious things I've ever had. Those eggplants are literally like the best eggplant I've ever like tasted. Like they're so much better than the Black Beauty, and I literally love them. I'm so glad I got them and planted them. Always gonna plant them from here on out. Here are all the plants that are going to go into the fall garden. So here they are. I've been a bad plant mom. I should have up-potted these, but didn't. So yeah, they're probably looking a little bit in rough of shape, but I'm sure they will bounce back, hopefully. If not, I'm not gonna have much of a fall garden, and that's what it is. Definitely to work on better time management for when canning season starts, because I just let things get out of control. Okay, so now we are approaching the main garden space, and I'm not sure what kind of tomatoes these are, but they're like not totally a cherry tomato because they're kind of big, but like they still look nice and juicy. So all right, it's kind of hard to see everything because everything is like at peak height. But here is all his parents' side. Okra is like ridiculously tall. Yeah, so moving on over here. All the squashes are pretty much dead. I gotta rip those out. Shout out to this ginger though. This ginger has been absolutely fantastic. I think one of the reasons why this ginger has been doing so well is because ginger loves humidity and heat, but it does not like a lot of sun, which is like counterintuitive. It's a tropical plant, right? I don't know. But yeah, that's what I read. And basically the past like month, it's literally rained every day. It has been so humid like a swamp, and yet there is no sunshine. So this ginger has done super well. I can't wait to dig it up and do a whole bunch of stuff with it. So yeah, I'm really excited for this harvest. I don't know when I'm gonna do it. I don't know when the proper time to harvest ginger is, but when it does and when I do, I'm ready. I'm ready. It's gonna be exciting. So basically I have just cut all the corn down, and now I'm using it for Halloween / fall decorations on the front of my yard. And yeah, basically this mass of yellow flowers that has taken over the arch is these two singular loofah plants. Like, holy moly. This loofah is absolutely everywhere. Shout out to this bee pollinating this loofah plant. But yeah, this loofah just literally, it is absolutely this whole entire thing. And like they're in clusters, so like each flower has like a bunch of million flowers on it as well. So if you look inside the arch, you just see nothing but dead and dropped loofah flowers. Oh my gosh. Inside the loofah now, and unfortunately, oh my gosh, yes, loofah gourds. I'm finally this is like the first time I've been in this trellis in probably a month. And oh my gosh, yes, here's another loofah. Yes, so much loofah. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. But yeah, no, all of these poor tomato plants basically had just gotten shaded out. This whole wall I ripped out. There's a video on that. And yeah, so I just have to go in and harvest what I can from these little tomatoes that are left. But yeah, this whole thing has just become loofah city. Yeah, so I'm gonna be set on loofah sponges for at least the next 5 years. Like, ugh, getting out of it is a struggle with this tripod stick. Yeah. Yeah, actually, I've begun to notice, it looks like my potato plants have died back. So maybe it's time to do a purple potato plant harvest as well. Yeah, let me see if there's still some tomatoes going, but really, I just kind of have to rip this all down at this point because, yeah, I don't know. Oh, actually, no, there's still actually a lot of green tomatoes, so maybe I'll leave them. But yeah, no, there's loofah. I already separated the loofah from this wall of tomatoes, and unfortunately, it's made its way back again. So maybe I'll just take what's left of the green tomatoes and my tomatillos here. Yeah, there's so many tomatillos, and they're all on the ground too. But I wanted to take a second to talk about my tomatillos while I go get more bug spray because I'm getting eaten alive. But yeah, so these tomatillos, they have been doing super well. But, ooh, that was a thick spider web. Ah, sorry. Ooh, side note. So we have raspberries that are 2 bush bearers. So they already did their spring, and now looks like they're on their fall. And all of these are new raspberries. Yeah, so I get to make raspberry jam not only in the spring, but in the fall. Oh, wow, here's another cluster. Let me get it close. Hello, my name is Raspberry, and I'm going to pick you. I always just do a quick bug check and then pop them in the mouth. Okay, where was I with the tomatillos? Yeah, so like they produced a lot, especially for the 5 plants, but they have been ripening so unevenly. Yeah, so it's been very hard to kind of get like enough to make salsa verde. And also I thought it was when they are ripe, they would kind of bust through the husk, but a lot of them aren't really busting. They're just dropping to the ground and everything's still intact. So I've kind of been collecting them that way. Yeah, whichever is dropped to the ground is what I'll pick up and collect, and I've kind of been just throwing them in regular like tomato salsas instead of having like their own specific tomatillo salsa. So yeah, that's kind of what's been going on with that, and that's like my only complaint for that. But yeah, so let's take a look at the pepper patch now, just so you can kind of see what's going on with that. They have been dead and dying for a while, and the only reason I haven't pulled them is just so you can kind of see what they look like without too much dramatic change happening from August to now September. So here's the pepper patch. Let me show you. Here is how they've been doing. They've kind of had some spot disease of some sort, and they haven't really produced that much fruits. So I'm definitely going to rip them up in the next day or two, refertilize the ground, and use this area to plant some of the broccolis and cauliflowers and, you know, all the brassicas that I have planted. Yep, here is another view of the corn. The watermelon here has kind of died down. There's still a couple spots where it's trying to produce something, but I don't know what the heck it's kind of doing right now. Yeah, the what are these? The cayenne peppers are still producing a lot, and I'm just waiting for them to ripen up. This loofah, again, this is where it originated from. It's kind of going crazy. Here's more cayenne peppers. Oh wow, the cayenne peppers have actually gotten really tall. Like, look at this, it's all the way up in here, you know? They did really well. Cayenne peppers always do really well for me. And over here are habanero peppers. I did harvest a lot of them, so most of them are still all green. But yeah, these habanero plants have been super heavy producers, and that makes me excited because I love doing habanero spicy flavored things. So definitely love my habaneros. Here's some more back in there. Unfortunately, I have realized I didn't actually plant enough habanero peppers, just because, yeah, I like to make like this soul hot habanero like chili powder paste, whatever, and apparently I need like, I don't know, I call my grandpa, he's the one who like originally makes it in our family, and he says I need about 20 plants. I only have 5, so definitely just going to be saving seeds from this one because they're producing so much, but unfortunately not enough because it's only 5 plants. So yeah, I'm just using them here and there, drying them, making some of the powder, and I'll definitely make the chili sauce next year. So yeah, that is probably the quickest garden tour I have done, and that's mainly because this loofah plant has taken over everything, and everything less is either on its way out or I have pulled it already. So yeah, going forward, gonna do a fall planting video so you can see what is going on for my fall garden. I probably should have started it all before, but I've been behind, like I said, and maybe I'll try to do another round of beets and other root vegetables. I'm not really sure. Yeah, so technically my first frost date is October 23rd, and that is for the city of Fairfax, but we are very close to DC, still within Fairfax County, so we're actually kind of in a bubble along with DC where everywhere else around will freeze, but we will always stay like above the 32-degree mark. So like everywhere else it'll be, you know, freezing 28 degrees and we'll be like 38. So I actually looked up DC's first frost dates. Theirs is November 12th or 16th, so I'm kind of banking on, whew, huge mosquito. So yeah, so I'm kind of banking on that where our first frost will be later, so all of the fall vegetables will have tons of time to reach through their maturity and, you know, do what they're supposed to do. Thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry I didn't end up making the August garden tour video, but I mean, really, it was just like the end of Tomato Peak and the beginning of trying to tangle this monster behind me. So you didn't miss too much. So until next time, take care. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.